Namaste. Welcome to Youth TV show Global Perspectives. Our guest for today's episode is Gregor GrÖger.
Let's make a definition of a German SME first to see about whom we are talking. In Germany, we define a small or medium enterprise as a company which has less than 250 employees and makes less than 40 million euros turnover. This criteria are fulfilled in Germany by 99% of all our registered companies. And this 99% of the companies employ 59% of all our employees in Germany. And they contribute with 35% to the total turnover of all companies in Germany. But, and this is very significantly for a German small and medium enterprise, they are responsible for 82% of all the apprentices which are educated after school. In 2008, the order intake dropped on average 20%. And therefore, all the companies had to react and cut down the costs, also at least by 20%. So how can you do that? Big companies, they closed production lines, they laid off people. Small companies were trying to find innovative solutions with their workers. Since they know them normally since years, because they have done already their education after school in the same company, they were flexible to discuss models to reduce costs. And this could be done, for example, by working 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week, or working 6 hours a day instead of 8 hours a day, or share a job with your colleague, or even people went on a half-year sabbatical. And with all this flexibility, we could manage in the small and medium enterprise to lay off just a few people during the crisis, and the jobless rate jumped by less than 1% in Germany. This shows that the SMEs have the flexibility to master crises, and usually they come out stronger after a crisis than before. During the crisis, you use the time to fight the weaknesses in your company, to restructure your organization, and more important, what the Germans can very do, look for new export markets. We are always, in the last 10 years, within the 3 biggest export nations in the world, and this shows that what we are focusing. When the crisis starts, we just do not lay off people, we find new products, we find new markets, and we will talk with our employees together how to master the crisis, and then we came out stronger than before. Germany is already sharing these so-called secrets with the world, with investing all over the world. Germany has almost in every country in the world invested in production facilities or trade facilities or buying offices. And by doing this, we carry a part of our German mentality also into the other countries. We think global but act local. So if a German company invests in another company, we have to adjust to the company and to the country, but bring German ideas and some German ways of doing business with yourself. For me, one of the most important secrets for our success is our education system. Everybody in Germany has to go to school for at least 9 years, and if you want to qualify for university, you have to go there at least 12 years, or in some states for 13 years. After the school or after graduation, about 55% of our young people go to university now. The other 45% find a job together in a dual system with an education at a vocational school. And since many years, even through the crisis, there has never been someone led on the street after his school. They always found a place to be educated in a company, and always make a parallel education of 2 to 3 years where they work in the job and they will go to school about half by half. And this is probably the secret of our success. We take the people after school directly into work, and we keep them into work until they go to rent. And it's not very seldom, it's very common that a lot of German people start their education in the same company where they go into rent 45 years later. If you keep your people with a good work, then they will not leave the company and they will not leave the country. And so we keep our well-educated people with us. That's another of our secrets of success. German companies spend between 2 to 10% of their income in the R&D departments. And you have to do this to always stay on top of the competition, stay on top of the market. The market is moving faster and faster, and if you stop innovating, it's always a step backwards, because your competitors, they will do so. They will catch up to you, or they will even pass you. And this is one of the major strengths that German companies have always shown, that we are inventors and not followers. And therefore, I could only recommend to every company, invest money in R&D departments. Startups are very important for us and for the whole world, and startups have changed the world in the last 10 years. Yes, I believe in startups, but yes, they are overhyped. And now mostly the startups are a playground for money-loaded private equity funds or institutional investors who invest in every single promising IT startup, even knowing that 9 out of 10 will fail. But they hope that a 10th will cover all the losses from the other 9. And doing so, if I recommend someone to go into an IT startup, I would say, yes, if you know what you're doing. This is a very Darwinistic world with a strong survival of the fittest, and some will do it, some will get big, but most of them will be closed down before they reach profitability. Dangerous, but very interesting. We need a good cooperation of both of those fields. First, you have to have a company which is profitable, to be sure you can afford a company which is a non-profit company. And then you will need the non-profit company to make sure that the money you are able to donate will reach the right people. What would be probably better for a company, for a country? I think first a country would need profit organizations to make sure they supply work for the people. Because if the people have work, they have the most important thing in their lives. They have a stable income, they can run their lives, they can improve their lifestyle. And if they don't have a job, everything is much more harder. Then you give them just money to survive, but it is just giving them money for nothing, which will not make them happy and which will not bring you forward. If you give them work, if you give them a fair salary, and you treat them well, treat them socially responsible, I think that would be more important for a country. That's easy. I say don't wait until the luck finds you. Luck is something what you can find in lottery. But luck in life, or better call it success in life, has to do with the results of your right decisions at the right time. If you are patient and if you watch your eyes opened and you go open-minded through your life or through your world, there will be some opportunities coming. Make sure you pick the right opportunities. If you make decisions, you will also make mistakes. But do not take decisions which ruin all the results from the previous good decisions. So risk-taking is something what the entrepreneur always should do or has to do. But it must be a balanced concept with how much risk can I afford. For example, if I have €1,000 or $1,000, I cannot make a decision which may cost me $2,000 if it fails, because then I will be bankrupt and I have no money to start again. If I have €10,000, I can make a decision which costs me $2,000 if I fail. I make another decision which brings me $3,000 if I win, and then I have $11,000. So always build it up from scratch. Make more money than you spend, take risks, but take always calculated risks, which will not bring it down completely to zero. And then the luck will not find you, but you will find the luck, which means success.
You can follow us at facebook.com Leadership Academy KTM. We will be back next week with a new episode of Youth TV Show. Namaste.